Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get the updates. What I said for today's video, it's Saturday, and on Saturdays I do Cellar Saturday, where I actually drink something off the shelf. So, and I've been doing this for a while, I'm finally noticing it's a little thinner. Might have to kind of readjust things to keep stuff in the background of the videos. So, mission accomplished so far. So, it was either... Was it this one or was it Sukaba or however you pronounce it? It was different vintage, but I think it was Parabola was the first one I ever did for the Cellar Saturday. This is 2017. It's currently 2022, so it's 5 years old at time of review. I'm not going to read the side and everything like I usually do because you probably, if you're watching this, know about this beer, Parabola. It's a bourbon barrel-aged stout. There's still some dust on it, even though it was in the box. Just a little bit. I must have had it out of the box at some point. 14.5% ABV. I do want to say that. Other than that, I don't want to read anything. Got this nice bottle opener from Mike from Nerd Sense. Make sure, if you watch my channel, you watch Nerd Sense. All one word. Nerd Sense. Like common sense. Get rid of common. Right? Nerd. Interesting. Huh. Very brown when I was pouring it. Actually, I'll probably cap this and drink more later. So once it's in the glass, there is definitely brown. It's mostly black, but there's a good amount of brown. I hope the camera is picking up on that, the way the lighting is. And certainly when I was pouring, a lot of brown. But it definitely looks like a stout, don't get me wrong. There's even like a little bit of red at the bottom, but it's mostly black, decent amount of brown, a little bit of red at the bottom. Not much of a head. It's mocha. Well, this thing goes away relatively quickly. Nice legs on it. Not surprising given the ABV. It's a little thinner looking than I thought it would be. Other than that, it looks exactly how I thought it would. And again, I'm just, over commenting on the brownness of it, really is what I mean. Let's get into the aroma. It smells fantastic. Good mix of like sweet chocolate and a roasty darker chocolate. Definitely some caramel, so it's somewhat Rolos. The spirit is coming across really nicely. Even a little bit of the oak, the vanillin from it. Not coconut yet anyway. A little bit of tobacco. And like that tobacco leather thing, but like a sweet version of that. And making it sound sweeter than it is, but it is relatively sweet smelling. A little bit of molasses. It smells fantastic. I mean, it smells really good. Let's get into taste. Cheers. Wow. Wow. 5 years on. That's phenomenal. That is so good. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. One of my favorite things about aging beers like this is when they're fresh, and they can be delicious fresh. That's not what this conversation is about to be. But it can be like little fireworks of the flavors, This, you get those flavors, but like they've melded together. They've had time to kind of get to know each other in the bottle, so to speak. And man, vibrant chocolate, very similar to the aroma. I get like the roasty darker chocolate, but there is a nice sweet milk chocolate element. I get that caramel, just like, wow, I'm probably going to keep saying like the aroma, so let me stop saying it because the flavors are very much like the aroma. Caramel, but not too sweet. You get the nice oak, the vanillin. Not a vanilla bomb by any stretch of the imagination. I know, vanilla police alert. But you get the barrel, you get the spirit as well. The spirit hits a little bit up front, but I get it more as the bitter, and it's not that bitter of a beer, but like the dryness a little bit. Like when the sweetness subsides and there is a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of dryness, that's where I get a little bit more of the spirit also. But there is some of the initial sweetness with the chocolate and the caramel and everything. So it kind of makes sense. The sweeter elements are front loaded, and then not like savory, but some of the drier things, the molasses note, that kind of stuff comes the second half of the sip. There's still like a little bit of chocolate on my palate, But I can't say it's the longest finish, just to give it some sort of a knock, because this beer is phenomenal. I'm like really impressed with it. Man, it smells good. Getting more of the milk chocolate, still good roasty element. Approaching coffee, but not fully there. Like it definitely drinks like coffee's not added, but it is roasty enough that it's getting towards that realm. Maybe it's because I took a bigger sip, or I've had a few sips. That was a bigger sip than I intended, if I'm being honest. It's the finish is much longer now, so maybe it's just like the compounding of flavors on my palate, and it's making it seem longer. Or, well, it is longer, but maybe that's why it's longer, or it's just a bigger sip, or the fact I've taken several. But so I mean, still whatever, count it however you want to count it. Lions, Bears, and Beers. I'm trying to think of anything else to say. I feel like I kind of did this quickly, but like, not that I'm known for my brevity, but like, if this is, I don't even know how long this has been. If it seems like a shorter review, it's not because the beer isn't worth contemplating. It's really, really good, and there is a lot going on. But it's also like, part of it too is it's pretty easy for me to pick up what I'm tasting. Sometimes a longer review is just because like, oh, what is that thing? And it's like me trying to figure it out. Whereas this one, it's pretty much like, it's this thing, that thing. Oh, and also this other thing. But don't forget it's this thing too. Oh, I just got a hint of this thing. It's like, it's just a little bit more obvious. Dried fruit. I'm glad I kept going. Raisin more than dates and figs and stuff, but a little bit of that. But more for me, raisins. I say that, and now I'm getting a little bit more date. Yeah. Equal raisins and dates, but those are more than like figs and prunes. Wow. Who said you shouldn't age beer? This is phenomenal. I'm like, I mean, I love this beer anyway, but like, man, this is great. If you had this beer before, are they even still making this beer? I assume they're still making it. We haven't been getting a lot of Firestone Walker around us, so I assume they're still doing it. The most recent one I have is from 2020. Yeah, so I have 7. I'm doing the 17. I have an 18, 19, and then a 20. I like the smaller format. I'm a big fan of that. It's funny, as I'm drinking down my cellar, I'm noticing I haven't been drinking some of my bigger, like 750s and stuff. So I'll have to kind of pivot and do that soon and start throwing those in more often. But yeah, anyway, that's more information than you probably came here for. Yeah, have you had this beer before? Have you had any vintage? Have you had a recent vintage? Have you had one that you've aged for a while? A different barrel-aged stout that you thought was good? Anything, everything, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.